Hey yo guys, welcome back to Toe Tags Metal Reviews, and today we're continuing our series where one of us tries to get the other into a band that they never really listened to before. And today is going to be Tvfish's first impressions of the Dethalbum by Dethklok. Alright, so Dethklok. A lot of people think Dethklok is just a joke band, and I thought that originally too back in the day when I first heard about them, but then I listened to them and I was like, wow, these guys actually make some pretty bomb music. It was really hard to choose which album to go with, but I thought let's go with the original back from 2007. We gotta listen to the Dethalbum. What do you think?
Well, this band, I've heard before. It's not like I've never heard them before.
Okay.
And you know, like you said, I think a lot of people, they come to Dethklok and say, oh, it's a joke band, you know, from Metalocalypse, which is a show I really need to watch. I haven't watched it yet. But I remember you played like a song or two for me like a long time ago, just showing them, and I liked what I heard, but it was a long time ago, so I do not remember anything. All I remember is that I really enjoyed what I was hearing, so we're gonna listen to this album for my first time in its entirety, and we'll be right back with my first impressions of the Dethalbum.
Hey guys, welcome back. We just listened to the Dethalbum in its entirety, Tvfish's first impressions of the album. I've heard this album a million times. What did you think?
Well, you know, for a lot of albums, I find, a lot of albums that I hear for the first time, I find they start at a certain level and then go down. This album was the opposite. It started kind of okay, and then just went up from there. Like, to comment on the beginning, you know, Mermaider, Go Into the Water, Awaken, I think I really needed the chance with those songs to get used to the vocal style of this album. And I will say, I'm not a huge fan only because of how overly consistent the vocals are. It's like the same growl with the same kind of talky vocals. They make it work. They make it work on every song. It doesn't feel out of place. It just feels too consistent. It's literally the exact same voice happening on every single song.
Okay.
So there were notes in songs that I really started to like, where I started writing like, musically this song is fantastic, but the vocals kind of drag it down, but the music was so good that I couldn't rate that song poorly. But it started to kick up for me during Fan Song, actually, which, you know, I heard some of the lyrics as he's singing. I think it's funny because the concept is like, we hate our fans, but we just want money. So it's funny, but that was when, like, I was getting tired of the vocals, but the music just sounded really cool. So from there, you know, Better Metal Snake, one of my highest rated, like my highest rated songs all got 8s, and this was one of them. I like how it started really hot out of the gate, and then it had a few different groups going on in that song, and they were all just great. Like, it was really nothing terribly, nothing bad.
Let me point something out about Better Metal Snake. The fact that you said that was one of your highest rated songs and that's when the album kind of turned around for you. If you notice or not, I'm not sure, but that song has a harmonized vocal in it. It's not just a growl.
Okay, maybe.
I'm not sure if you noticed it or not, but I guess maybe subconsciously you noticed it. Maybe that's why you were like, this one's a little better.
There's a lot of tracks on this album, so it's hard to remember exactly after only hearing it one time.
Right.
But, perhaps. But I mean, Lost Vikings, I enjoyed that one. Like, I feel like musically a lot of these songs are individual, so it overpowers the fact that vocals are so consistent. Like, Thunder Horse, that was, like, I specifically wrote, you know, this is dope and it overpowers lackluster vocals. The guitar tone reminded me a little bit of Trivium in that one, because I was thinking to myself, like, I've heard something like this before, and I thought maybe it kind of sounds like Trivium.
Okay.
Musically, I'm not sure, but the guitar tone definitely does remind me of what of the guitar tones in Trivium.
I get that, yep.
But yeah, like, near the end of the album, I don't want to say it dipped a bit, but it kind of leveled off.
Okay.
Like, the highest points for me were Better Metal Snake and Thunder Horse, but by the end, the songs were pretty consistently good. I really like the last track, Death Harmonic, which has all these strings going on, you know, strings start and the band comes in and then they stop and the strings go again. And I think this is a great, like, album ender. They did a great job making it atmospheric, making it really brooding, but also somber. It's just a very fitting end to this album.
Do you think that would have been fitting for a first song? It might have been a cool intro, I thought.
I think it would be better than Mermaider, in my opinion. Mermaider, I was listening to it and I was trying to tell myself this is great.
Yeah.
But I really couldn't agree with that. But it wasn't bad. I just, I was listening to the chorus and I was just not really too sure if I really enjoyed it.
I felt the same way when I first heard Mermaid. I remember that I felt that song was very awkward in its structure.
Yeah.
And it just, there's parts of the song that feel very abrupt, but after listening to it more and more, and it kind of grows on you, at one point it was my favorite song. This is one of those albums where every song at one point was my favorite song. And I'm hoping that you start to feel the same way if you listen to it enough this week, because every song has potential. I mean, the song order might be a little mixed up. The vocals, I think you'll learn that the vocals are not the same in every song too. There's different things that he does, a little bit more aggression here and there, like in Face Fisted, which is towards like the second last song on the album, but his voice is much angrier in that song.
Yeah,
it's really mean. He's pissed when he's singing in that song.
That song is very like specific because like the groove is just so, you just feel so much anger coming from this song. It's just really in your face.
For the most part though, you are right. The vocals are a little bit too consistent on a specific level, but like you said, they make it work. Yeah. I think that's a good thing. Hatred Copter, what did you think of the vocals in that song? Because it's...
There was something different in that one, and it just felt like a breath of fresh air. Like, I was thinking, wow, this is something different, so I kind of automatically like it, but at the same time, like, I didn't really see anything about the song that just like blew me away. I could compare it to other songs like Thunder Horse, etc., and I don't think it was better, but it was definitely a breath of fresh air for me. And I'm not saying, once again, I'm not saying that like the consistent vocals are terrible. It's a good vocal, and like I said, they make it work. It's just I feel it might be too consistent. So this song specifically, like, I heard it and said, wow, okay, that's something different. But you know what? You're probably right that there are different things about the regular vocals for each song. It's just, I've only heard it one time, so it's really hard to keep track specifically which one sounded different, especially because it does sound similar for the songs.
Let me ask you one more thing. How do you feel about, because a lot of the songs of this album have kind of like a mid-tempo vibe. They're not really that fast, but they're hard hitting, but they got like a mid-tempo speed to them. How do you feel about that really? Like, is that something
I felt like it was really varied in this album. Like, I felt there were fast moments, there were slow moments, there were mid-tempo moments. I didn't feel like it was really gravitating towards mid-tempo because I saw a big range of
diversity.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. I really like how it would go back and forth with that, and it would make songs a lot more memorable that way by having these shifts, making them be like, oh yeah, this is the song where they do that, this is the song where they switch. Like Fan Song is a song where it starts, whatever, and then they play more subdivided notes, the more 16th notes, 32nd, and then it feels faster. So they do stuff like that. Something like Death Harmonic is a bit slower paced, so that makes that individual that way.
Melodic,
Exactly. So I think I didn't think they really gravitated towards like a mid-tempo. I feel like they had a good variety in there, and that was good. But yeah, like, after the first few tracks, I was a little bit scared, saying like, oh man, is this gonna be a chore of an album? But it picked up, and it's interesting.
I think those first few tracks will grow on you.
Most likely.
I'm confident they will. You know what, you're gonna listen to this album for the entire week. I'm gonna listen to it a lot too. And we'll be back next week, and we'll give you guys our full final review of the Death album, and we'll see what Tvfish thinks after listening to it for a week, because I already love this album. We're gonna have to see how you feel about it. But make sure you guys like this video, subscribe if you guys are new to the channel, and let us know what you think, as usual, of Dethklok, this album, and all that fun stuff. I'm Vile Self.
I'm Tvfish.
We'll see you guys next time. Peace.